What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our Aston Villa preview here on Anfield Agenda. The Reds travelled to Villa Park for a 7:30 kickoff on Wednesday. It is another massive game in the Premier League and another 3 points that would get us closer to that Premier League title if indeed we can leave with the victory. The game kicks off at 7:30, just a reminder about that, it's an early kickoff, so we will be live from 6:15 PM. And over the course of this video, what I'm going to do is give you a bit of a fact file about our opponents, the recent form coming into this one, then we'll go through and give you my predicted 11, and of course we'll end with a score prediction as well. All the way through, we'd love to know your thoughts, so do let us know in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoy the video and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because as you can see we are edging towards 300,000 subscribers, just over 500 to go. So look, let's probably start off with a bit of an injury update ahead of this one. The manager did confirm that Cody Gakpo will be a doubt for the game, that knock a little bit heavier than first believed. So I've gone and erred on the side of caution and haven't put him in my predicted 11. Apart from that, Curtis Jones will return after serving his 1-game suspension, and then it's just really Joe Gomez who's the only long-term absentee for the Reds. So let's have a look now at Aston Villa's, history with Liverpool and their form coming into this one. We'll start off as we always do with the fact file on our opponents. Aston Villa have won just one of their last 14 Premier League games against Liverpool. A 7-2 victory at Villa Park in October 2020. I think I have some vague recollection of that game, but I'm not 100% sure. If you could see the face I'm making now behind this screen, you'd know I'm being sarcastic. The last 7 Premier League meetings between Aston Villa and Liverpool at Villa Park have produced a total of 33 goals, an average of 4.7 per game. Liverpool have scored at least twice in all of these 7 games, so we can expect some goals at Villa Park. Liverpool remain the only side yet to lose away from home in the Premier League this season in 13 away fixtures. Next up, let's have a look at our head-to-head and, of course, Aston Villa's recent form coming into this one. Premier League in 24-25, it finished Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. In 23-24, at Villa Park, it was a 3-3 draw. And then at Anfield, Liverpool beat Aston Villa by 3-0. I don't want a 3-3 draw tomorrow. I'll take a 3-2 Liverpool victory, but I don't want a 3-all draw. Recent form coming into this one will work from the bottom up. It was a draw in the Premier League between Aston Villa and West Ham. Then Aston Villa 4, Celtic 2 in the Champions League. Premier League, Wolves beat Aston Villa in a bit of a Midlands derby at Molineux by 2-0. Aston Villa beat Ange Postecoglou and Spurs 2-1 at Villa Park. And in their most recent fixture, it was a 1-1 draw with Ipswich Town at Villa Park. So there we go, that's the fact file and a recent opponent's history coming into this one, but we're all here for the team selection, right? I thought long and hard about this one. I have made a couple of changes and I hope you guys will, let me know your thoughts as we go through them. So let's start off as we do always with the goalkeeper and the centre backs. No surprises here, but let me say this, Jarell Quansah did absolutely brilliantly when he came on for the second half when Ibrahim Konate went off the weekend. So he was in contention to start in this one for me, but ultimately got to go to the strongest centre-back pairing in Europe, right? Ibrahim Konate and captain Virgil van Dijk for me in this one. It is so difficult that we can't really give Virg a rest as the season goes on. It's big shoes to fill, so I would imagine we'll see the big man in there. Now next month, of course, we've got international duty and only 4 games for the Reds in the entirety of March. 2 Premier League and 2 in the Champions League, so hopefully these guys can get somewhat of a breather then. And then we've got a bit of an extended run. We don't play the weekend after the international break because it's an FA Cup weekend, so maybe that's a little bit of time Virg can get a rest. Alisson Becker to return in goal as well. I don't think that cut on his leg has done anything to hamper his availability to start this one. So that's the centre-backs and the goalkeeper. Full-backs now. And look, I thought long and hard about these full-back ones, and it was very difficult to go between Trent and Conor Bradley. Sincerely, it was. I think I'm still there with Trent and wanted him to play through this because there's no doubt Trent hasn't been himself. Whether it's the contract situation, whether it is a little drop of form, or whether he's carrying a bit of a niggle, I think this is a game we need Trent's attributes in. But for me, if he doesn't start producing the goods, you got to start looking at the idea of maybe playing Conor Bradley because it can't go on forever. But that being said, for this one, I'm going for Trent at right back, and then I've made a change at left back. just simply because I thought Andy Robertson hasn't been himself really. He's had a couple of good games, then a couple of poor games. I know Sky gave him man of the match of the weekend, but I don't know what game they were watching. So for me, I'm going to go for Costas here and maybe revert to Andy Robertson when we go to the Etihad at the weekend. So my back five, Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ibrahim Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Kostas Tsimikas. Now into midfield, and I have made a change here. You were probably expecting me to say, and hell, I would have expected me to say unchanged, but I have rested one midfielder. So this is what I've gone with. As you can see, I've gone for Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. The reason being, Maka has looked a little bit fatigued and I want him at his best for the weekend against Man City. And I think the legs of Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai in midfield could be very important here, because we're going to have to get a grasp of that midfield and help Ryan Gravenberch out. And these two gents have an engine that just runs and runs and runs. So I've rolled the dice a little bit here and I've gone for Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. I know there will also be people perhaps suggesting to go with Turo Endo, and I can understand it. I just don't think it's what Arne Slot's going to do. So for me in this one, I've gone Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Right now, the forward line. Again, not really much change here because we know that Cody Gakpo's a doubt, so I've erred on the side of caution. So let's have a look at the wide areas. I've gone for, of course, Luis Diaz on the left, Mohamed Salah on the right. And look, I hope both these gents can keep up the good form from the weekend. Luis Diaz, I thought, had a really good game before he was taken off. And Mohamed Salah, well, he's just a goal and assist machine this season, isn't he? Well, not just this season, always. So that's the wide areas for me. And I think you're probably not too surprised to see that. Through the centre, who have I gone for here? Darwin, Jota, Chiesa. Well, I've gone for Diogo Jota. As much as I want him to stay on his feet and not be going around players and then jumping onto the ground for no reason, I still think we looked much better in attack in that first half against Wolves. Second half was a different game altogether, but in the first half I thought Jota looked far more natural in that central position, and of course Luis Diaz looked back to his best out in the wide area and not through the centre. So to run through it again really quickly, Alisson Becker in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Costas at left back, Ibrahim Konate and Virgil van Dijk in the centre-back positions, Dominic Szoboszlai, Ryan Gravenberch and Curtis Jones in midfield, and then Mo Salah, Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota up top. So that's the team selection. That's the form coming into it. What about the score prediction? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've gone for. A narrow 2-1 victory for Liverpool, much like the game against Wolves. I hope that we go out there and put on a dazzling performance, but there's no denying that there was that nerviness that crept in the second half against Wolves, and depending on how this game starts, I think it's going to be an edgy night because Villa want to get back to winning ways. They're trying to push up to get back into the Champions League, and of course we want to make sure that we can extend that gap over Arsenal to 10 points as they don't play midweek. So that's my score prediction, a narrow 2-1 victory for the Reds. Now it's over to you guys. Let us know your thoughts, and of course don't forget we will be live from 6:45. No, it won't be 6:45. Connor's got that graphic wrong. He doesn't know it's a 7:30 kickoff. So ignore the graphic on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 7:30 kickoff, and we will be live from 6:15 p.m. So hope to see you for that one. So again, ignore the graphic. 6:15 p.m. It's a 7:30 kickoff. We'll be live for, and we will talk to you then. Appreciate your support as always, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully we can hit that 300k soon. We've got a very special image ready that's a combination of all the best thumbnails and stuff that we've had over the years. So really excited to try and get there, and thank you once again for your continued support. Much love. Bye bye.